What's going on, everyone? So the Lakers' first game of the season is against the Denver Nuggets, and we all know how it ended last time we played them. And DARVIN Ham touched on the encounter and running it back against the Denver Nuggets. He said, "No, I love it. That's what it's about. It's unfortunate that their focus wasn't about winning the championship, but we're used to it. We're the Lakers. We're the most hated, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I can't wait to run it back." DARVIN Ham on running it back with the Lake Show. And look, what he's talking about is Denver and all the noise, how they were chirping during, all the press conferences and stuff, even after they eliminated us from the playoffs. You go to the parade, and instead of them celebrating the parade, they're talking about the Lakers and how, they're our daddy and all this. It was so silly and over the top ridiculous. And then they have the audacity to cry that like all the media and all the news is about the Lakers. And it's like, well, you're not helping and contributing. I mean, you're talking more about them than the media is, right? And look, this is something that I've said several times. The Lakers have Denver circled on their calendar. They cannot wait. It's going to be the ring ceremony. They're going to be in Denver, opening game of the season. You don't think that the Lakers absolutely want to go in and just smack them and beat them by 40 if they can? Now, I don't think that's going to be the case, but I genuinely do believe that the Lakers are going to beat Denver on opening night. I really do. I think because you're not going to have a healthier LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think that they're going to want good old-fashioned revenge. I think D'Lo's going to want to prove it, and he's going to want to be better. I think all of these guys are really going to want to kind of set the tone for the season, but also set the tone for just all of the talk, all of the hype, all the media, everything. And even that matchup against Denver. Because still, I mean, out of all the teams, Denver is the team with the fewest question marks, the fewest questions. They just came off a win in an NBA championship. They very likely could go back-to-back this season. Like, even the Lakers have a lot of question marks. The chemistry, how does everyone fit? Does everyone buy in? We're incredibly deep and talented, but with that, guys are going to get fewer minutes. How do egos get managed? Right? There's a lot that goes into it other than just like, oh, yeah, like, we're the Lakers. We have this great team, right? And even the Phoenix Suns, the Milwaukee Bucks, all of it have question marks. Denver, their biggest question marks are, defensively, how are they going to be? That wasn't a problem for them last year. Still won the NBA championship, even against the Lakers, who were the number one defense in the league, right? And the other question is, how much does losing Bruce Brown and Jeff Green affect them, right? I don't think it's hugely detrimental to their season or anything like that, but I do think it will hurt them slightly. Especially Bruce Brown was huge for them during the playoffs, and especially that Lakers series. But now, the Lakers, they match up great. They got a ton of size and versatility out on the perimeter. They're going to be able to match up against Denver outside of Jokic, right? Like, that's still the concern. Like, how does Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes, how are they able to kind of handle Jokic, right? You're never going to stop Jokic, but are they going to be able to make things difficult on him, or is he just going to eat them alive and go off for 40, right? Like, those are real question marks. And in a lot of ways, it's good that the Lakers are going to get a look immediately, right? Because, again, the Lakers should only improve as the season goes on. Because the more games that they play, the more chemistry they're going to build, the more repetition, the more kind of just understanding of one another and just the flow and stuff. So the Lakers are never going to be healthier, but they're also never going to be worse as far as chemistry and just team-wise goes. And so if we're able to go into Denver, win that game, that is huge for the Lakers, right? Because one, it, like I said, sets the tone for the season. Not only does it set the tone for the season, but it also builds that confidence for the young guys that are on this roster, the team in general. It raises spirits. Like, oh, wait a minute. Like, we just beat the defending champions at home on rain night with a team that this is their first game together, right? What is this going to look like as we continue? And look, it doesn't get any easier for the Lakers, right? The Lakers have just absolutely ridiculous, grueling schedule. Their first like 5 games, 4 of the 5 are against some of the top teams in the league. And so the Lakers, we're going to have a pretty good idea of who they are from the jump. I mean, their first 3 games are against 3 of the top 5 or 6 teams in the entire league, right? You got Denver, Phoenix, and Sacramento. So you're talking a Denver team who just won an NBA championship. You got to play in Denver. Then you got to play Phoenix, who many people have to win the NBA championship at your first home game. Then you follow that up with a trip to Sacramento, which Sacramento is tough to beat at home, like the beam, all that stuff. Then you have Orlando, which many people think Orlando is going to be a win, but they can be tough too. Paolo Banchero playing for Team USA. We've seen what that does for players in the past. Also, Orlando is a team that they've had stretches where they were the best team on both sides of the ball for like entire months. They just haven't been able to put it together for an entire season. Are they able to do that this year? Now, granted, that first Orlando game is in LA. Then you got like the Clippers again, and then you play Phoenix again a couple games after. Like the Lakers, we're going to know who they are very quickly this season, right? And that could go very good. That could go very bad. I think we go 7-3 in our first 10 games. That's my projections. Those are my thoughts. I did a whole video breaking that down. I'll link that video down in the description if you want to check it out. I think that the Lakers very likely establish themselves opening night against Denver, set the tone, really try to hand it to them. I don't think that they're going to beat Denver by like 30, but I do think that we get a rather convincing win, right? And I think Denver is going to tell us more than like Phoenix will, right? Like, obviously, if the Lakers lose by like 30 or something, that's not good. That's not good at all. The Denver game, I want to put some stock into. Even if the Lakers do lose, how do they lose? What does it look like? How does, because again, like this, even the returning guys, they only played like 22 games together, 24 games together, something like that. Like, so it's not like they had an entire season together and all this stuff and they have all this chemistry, right? But like a team like Phoenix, whether the Lakers win or lose, I won't put too much stock into it. Just because, again, we don't know where Phoenix is. Now, again, obviously, if Phoenix beats us by 30, then that's not good. But, like, let's say the Lakers beat Phoenix by 30. I wouldn't put too much. I wouldn't be like, oh, like, the Lakers, that's it. They're winning the championship. I'll be talking hella smack. And if the Lakers beat Denver, whoo-wee, let me tell you, I'm going to be talking. All right? Because look, that's all they did. That's all we heard. All they were doing was just chirping and chatting about the Lakers. And it's just, you have Karl Malone or Mike Malone. Karl Malone. I almost said Post Malone. You have Mike Malone out there just chirping and talking about how, the Lakers, everyone wants to talk about the Lakers. We eliminated them, all that stuff. And then he went on a media tour, just every opportunity he had in front of the camera talking about the Lakers. Like, you can't cry about the Lakers and all the attention that they're getting when you're talking about them more than anybody. And then talking about LeBron, and especially with LeBron was one of the guys that campaigned for Mike Malone. Like, Mike Malone might not even be in the league if it wasn't for LeBron James. Look it up. Go look up that story, right? And for him to just badmouth LeBron and everybody, it was just so classless, right? There's nothing wrong with some good trash talking. You swept the Lakers, right? You deserve a little trash talking. You deserve a little bragging rights, right? If they wanted to say what they wanted to say and call it a day, I wouldn't have cared. I don't think anyone really would have, right? Because again, you swept them. Talk your talk. But it's the fact that they just kept going and going and going. And then you get to the parade and it's like, you're more worried about the Lakers than you are celebrating your NBA championship. Like, don't worry about the Lakers. Like, why are you so obsessed with them? Like, why does it matter to you? You know, like when the Lakers beat you in 2020 and won the NBA championship, you were the last thing on their mind. You didn't hear them talking about you the entire time. You didn't hear anybody talking about you. You know why? Because you're irrelevant. That's the problem. Like, Denver is irrelevant. Like, Jokic is relevant. But if Jokic wasn't on Denver, no one would be talking about Denver ever. You know, like, it just, they're not the Lakers. They're never going to be the Lakers. Right? Like, the Nuggets are completely irrelevant. All right, congratulations. You won your first NBA championship. And the way you were staying relevant was talking about the Lakers. Nobody cared when they won the championship. Like, unless you lived in Denver, nobody cared. As soon as they won the championship, they had their parade and nobody talked. Usually there are months, like when Milwaukee even won, they talked about Giannis and all of that for like months. Like, all of it. Every year with somebody, when the Warriors won, when the Lakers won. Right? All of these teams, when somebody wins, they usually get all this attention, all this publicity. No! What was all the conversation about? Jokic partying in a nightclub. Jokic over here. Like, nobody cared that Denver won the NBA championship. Like, nobody cared. It was Jokic. That was the only thing that everybody was talking about. If you don't have Jokic, you're irrelevant. Denver would not be relevant without Jokic. And so I get why they feel the need to talk about the Lakers, because it's the most relevant they've ever been. Like, since like Melo, right? Like, it's silly to me. And I cannot wait for the Lakers to go smack them. Now, if the Lakers lose, then, you know, this video may age a little poorly, but that's how confident I am. I really do believe the Lakers beat Denver. I do. I think they're going to go into Denver. I think they're going to set and establish that, just like, here we are. Told you we were coming. And I'm pumped. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think the Lakers beat Denver opening game of the season? Do you think they don't? Media days tomorrow. I'm pumped. I'm excited. How do you feel? Let me know down in the comments.